Alright, quick update on waves. So on the lower time frames, we do have an important retest coming in very soon. We'll talk about that in just a second. If we zoom out to the higher time frames, I want to show you that we're really converged at the absolute lows right now. If we zoom out, you can see waves had an all-time high, went on a new bull run, like started a new bull run, made a new all-time high, and since then we've literally dropped to the previous bear market accumulation range after the first all-time high. So this is honestly one of the worst chart setups out of any crypto I've ever seen. It is not good when you've got a super long built out accumulation range before you break out to all-time highs. I mean, that by itself is perfect. Like, don't get me wrong, look, you've got an all-time high, beautiful accumulation range, there is nothing wrong with that. Coming up to a new all-time high, nothing wrong with that. Backtesting your previous all-time high and failing it, big problem with that. Coming back down to your 618 and failing a retest of that, big problem with that. Coming back down into the previous accumulation range, once again, there is a huge problem with that. The chart that we're seeing on waves right now is absolutely terrible. The reason why we're seeing this much momentum to the downside is because they were accused of being a Ponzi scheme. They were accused of pumping their own project. And like I say in my videos, I'm not going to bring my opinion into this. You know, I'm not a private investigator. I don't know what Waves has been doing, but the fact of the matter is they do have a USDN stablecoin that I am able to verify the price of, and it completely lost its peg to the $1. It completely started landsliding. Since then, Waves has been getting beat down in the news, getting beat down on Twitter. It went from the most euphoric crypto everyone was talking about to, you know, no one seems to give too much about it anymore. So just looking at this objectively, the trend is your friend until the end. We're clearly in a huge wham downtrend. I've been making video on waves warning you at $63, and people have been asking me at $37 should they DCA. I've had people asking me at $30 should they DCA. People asked me at $20 should they DCA. And now it's quite funny, no one's actually asking me whether they should DCA. In fact, I've got people saying I'm heavily down on waves, should I sell? So like it doesn't seem like this does have the greatest long-term potential in my point. If we do just look at this very objectively, like I said, like not bringing my opinion into this, looking at the 4-hour time frame, since the all-time high we flipped bearish on the 4-hourly EMA ribbon. Since then we have been rejected every single time you come into your EMA ribbon. So I feel like it's fairly simple to say the trend is your friend until the end. We have a very important retest coming in right now. The bears have had control of this downtrend for the longest period of time, so it is looking kind of shaky. If the bulls can bring this back, we're not bullish on any time frame, even the 1-hour time frame. You can see we're getting a tiny bit of volume in, but you know, your momentum indicators, the bears are clearly in control. And even on the 1-hour time frame, you're not even close to taking out your 1-hourly EMAs. So I did just want to make this quick video. I wouldn't be looking to DCA into waves right now. However, the important retest comes in at $13.50. You can also see the long-term moving average comes in at about $15. So if you were looking to DCA waves, if you did like this project, unlike me who doesn't really want to pick this up at all, then I would say the trend is your friend until the end, and waiting for that break above the long-term moving average on these EMA ribbons might be a smart thing to do. Because like I said, you know, I'm not trying to call anyone out, I'm not trying to make anyone feel bad about their investments, but the point of the matter is, if you go through my videos, there was people asking me should I DCA at 37, there's people asking me should I DCA at 20, and I feel like we should just look at the trend. We should acknowledge that this is extremely bearish. You can acknowledge from an unbiased perspective, even if you do or don't like this project, that these 4-hourly EMA ribbons are 100% defining the downtrend that we're witnessing on waves right now. So in theory, at least this is what I think in my brain, buying a breakout of, you know, maybe $15, sure, you might miss out on the first 20% pump. I really don't think that's a big deal because, you know, bear in mind, like I said, not to make anyone feel bad, but people have been DCAing this since $30 thinking it was the bottom, while we were sitting on the sidelines waiting because we saw that, you know, there was no signs of a bottom. There was no signs of a bottom at $30, there was no signs of a bottom at $20, and I still don't see any sign of a bottom around here. Now, that's not to say we can't reverse out of this region. We could break above $15 and we could initiate a bullish rally, but the point is, buying the breakout of the bullish rally means you're going to get a 20% discount from when people, or a 25% discount from when people were DCAing at $20. If you buy the breakout at 15, you're getting a 50% discount from when people were buying this and DCAing this at the $50 mark. And if you do believe in this project in the long term, which I personally don't, but like I said, I'm really looking at the technicals from an unbiased perspective and acknowledging that this is what the downtrend defines. Once we get out of this region, we can start talking about bullish price action, but until then, even if you buy the breakout, you're buying it at a 76% discount from the all-time high. If someone told me that I could buy Bitcoin at 76% from the all-time high, I'd say hell yeah, I'd stock up, I'd buy every single thing, every Bitcoin that I possibly could at that moment in time. So if you do believe in waves in the long term, a 76% discount is still pretty wham. Bear in mind, if we do break below this level, because this $12 is really your last support until we come down to like $8.50. We don't have a lot of support beneath us at this point because we've got no volume traded within these regions really. You can see a 37% landslide to the downside if we do take this out. So once again, I'm just going to be sitting on the sidelines for this one. This is really a simple video because, you know, I don't need to look at how oversold we are on the RSI and the MFI, because, you know, there's been news about them being a Ponzi scheme, so, you know, your oscillators like your RSI are not going to be able to predict whether we've got a bottom in when news like this comes out. However, looking at your momentum indicators, the momentum indicators don't care whether waves is a Ponzi scheme, it does not care if it is Bitcoin 2.0, it will define the downtrend with these 4 hourly EMA ribbons. Once we are out of them, I think we can be a lot more sure that we're bullish, so I'd be looking for a break above beyond $15. But yeah, I mean, really, ideally, when you come out to the daily, you can also see your last Fibonacci is down here at $15.79. So we've got a long way to go for waves before we do prove ourselves to be bullish. As always, the trend is your friend until the end. I do not plan on trying to catch a falling knife on this. I say this anagram all the time, you know, you're putting out your hands trying to catch a falling knife, hoping that you catch the exact bottom, but I don't understand why people do this, because if you just look at a crypto and realize that it's bearish, instead of trying to figure out where the bottom is, instead of saying, okay, the bottom could be here, so I buy, the bottom could be here, so I buy, the bottom could be here, so I buy, you just wait, you just look at the chart, you realize we're in a downtrend, and you see, you know, as soon as you hop into an uptrend, you don't get the exact bottom. Like, if you bought here, you bought the exact bottom before we initiated this rally. But if you sat on the sidelines since we flipped bearish, and then you simply bought once we flipped the EMA ribbons and went bullish, you would have pretty much bought the exact region where people bought the bottom. So, and once again, the people who bought this bottom probably would have bought this dip and bought this dip and bought this dip. I think people say dollar cost average, and it's really just a simple way for new traders to get into the market. And if you are a new trader who's not that much of a seasoned veteran, then I do recommend dollar cost averaging. It is what I did when I first got into crypto 4 years ago. It is what I do for Bitcoin, but I would not DCA a crypto like waves. That is just my opinion. I look at the chart on waves right now as a cannonball that's just been fired out of a pirate ship, and it's firing to the downside very, very fast. Are you going to put your hand out and try and catch the cannonball, or are you going to try and pick the cannonball up after it's lodged itself into the bottom of the ship and found a bottom? I know what I'm going to do. I don't want my hand to get blown off by buying at $12 and then having this rug all the way back down to 8. That is just my opinion, of course. This could be the bottom. That is not the point. The point is that we've been saying this. We've been saying the trend is your friend until the end, you know, since we started breaking below this uptrend at $37, and we gave you warning signs at 60. So it doesn't matter if we buy at 15. We're buying a lot cheaper than most people did when they DCA'd this. That is all I've got for waves. As always, None of this is financial advice, just my opinion, and as always, cowboy out. Peace.